Okay, so when someone talks to you about open source, you probably instinctively also think of privacy as well when it comes to open source. And that's not always the case, particularly with stuff like this from the Linux Foundation, their public health website here. This is open source software that tracks you. What? Why would I want that? Why? I mean, yeah, it's good because it's open source and you can audit the code and you can see in which ways they're tracking you, but they're still tracking you. And so this whole website here just displays why I will never give the Linux Foundation my money, ever. It doesn't matter how much they change internally. I can never trust the Linux Foundation to do the right thing. This collaborating to battle COVID-19 here, like, let's really talk about it. Let's read this first paragraph here. The Linux Foundation Public Health, LFPH, builds, secures, and sustains open source software to help public authorities, PHAs, combat COVID-19 and future epidemics. Everybody over at the Linux Foundation, that is a really, really clever way of just covering up the fact that you should have meant tracking there. You're tracking COVID-19 and future pandemics. And here's the problem that I see with this, because I don't think you could have inherent privacy when it comes to trying to track a virus and who gets it and which communities are most affected. Because the way I figure that they're going to do this is they're going to need some kind of identifying information. They're not just going to say, well, there's 100 people that have said, yes, they've got COVID in this area. That'll never be how it works, because they want more detailed information than that. They want to know which segments of that city, like, in which parts of it are the most, outbreaks, which I'm not saying tracking diseases or virus outbreaks is bad. The problem with it is when you try to say, or you're not, they never say here that they're tracking. You can scroll through this entire website. They never say anything about tracking, period, or privacy for that matter. That's a really big thing. Except for when you go here, they have a link to the CBC article, COVID-19 vaccine passports must address privacy as well as other concerns. When you're talking about open source, people instinctively think that open source software is going to respect their privacy, because almost all of it does. I mean, if not all of it. Why would the Linux Foundation be doing this, have this website up? Because they want to make money and make deals, which, I mean, I know the Linux Foundation is, I think they say they're a nonprofit. I can't remember if they're a nonprofit or for-profit company. I can't remember. But either way, they want money. They want to make deals with businesses to keep them afloat, and they are willing to undermine the inherent privacy aspect of open source. The whole point of having your software open source is so that other people can audit the code and know exactly what it does. And when you're talking about open source, that open source piece of software, because everybody can audit it, you should have that software as privacy focused as can be. Because when someone audits your code, sorry about that, my automated dog feeder just went off for Buddy, so he's about to start munching. Buddy is now done, so I can continue. I may have lost my train of thought, but I believe I was talking about when you audit code, or when you're able to audit the code because it's open source, you better have a privacy focused piece of software there. Because otherwise your software is not going to get used. So why create open source tracking software? Like, that makes no sense unless you're explicitly creating that technology to never take PID, or personal identifying information or data. Why in the world would you make something like this to track a virus where you know for sure that any institution or company that wants to use this is going to want as much detailed information as they can? With a piece of software like this, what's even the point of making it open source? Why? Because if you already know the software is doing something that you don't want to have, like, no one really, I don't think most people truly want someone spying on them, knowing what they're doing. Hell, even knowing if you're sick. It doesn't matter if it doesn't matter. No, I don't want anyone knowing it. If I've got a cough or a cold, I don't need it broadcasted for the government to know. What? Why? So why make this? It makes no sense to me. I cannot and will not understand this. And this is just the video to say, if you're giving your money to the Linux Foundation, quite frankly, I don't think you should. And if you disagree with me, let me know in the comments and tell me why, or just tell me I'm plain wrong here and this is a good thing. I mean, I'm sure plenty of people out there think this is a good thing because, I mean, yeah, maybe you can make the argument that spyware that's open source is more trustworthy, but it's still inherently spyware. So why would you ever run it on a system, like, or use it, or hell, opt into it and give them your information? Why? It makes no sense. So let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree, and if you liked the video or disliked it. Hit the freaking button, check out that subscribe button, and then once you're done with that, move on down, click on my LBRY or my Odysee link, same platform, just different front end for it. Head on over there, watch my videos over there, check out some other great content creators that are over there on that platform, and you'll make a little bit of crypto in the meantime that you can send back my way, or hell, you could just give it to all the content creators over there. They are, I mean, I will say Odysee and LBRY, the amount of fantastic content creators over there has grown exponentially. The platform is doing fantastic. I highly recommend you go check it out. Thank you for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.